guys. So first I'll just give you guys some background about my transition. I transitioned for 18 months. I knew that I did not want to big chop. I knew I was not ready to have short hair. I was used to having long hair. I'll share with you guys what I did in my process of transitioning. So first, like when I was in college, I wonder what my natural hair looks like. I wonder if my hair is curly. I don't know what it looks like. I don't remember what it looks like. I had my first like kitty perm when I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade. I would do my hair, and then when I got into 8th grade, going into high school, I started going to a hairstylist. Or I'm taking care of it, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I was, you know, straightening my hair myself and all of that. So my hair started to break off. I ended up getting my hair cut in high school to like just cut off all the split ends and damage, and started growing my hair out again. And that's when my hair, like I guess my junior year, it started really getting longer and longer. So I was really happy with that, but I still had a perm. So in college, a lot of people with different kinds of hair, and this really made me question my hair life is about. So I said, okay, I'll transition. I'll see how that goes, and then if I want to go back to a perm, I'll go back to a perm. If not, then you know, then I'll be natural. So I decided from that point, after that perm, that was my last perm, May 2013, and from there I started my transition. Number 10 tip is to research. Make sure that you're researching about natural hair, about what goes into transitioning, so you know what you're getting into. You know, it's always smart to check out things before you get into the, you know, deep of it and everything. So I was always on YouTube. I was on natural hair sites. I was always on YouTube. I subscribed to a whole bunch of different natural hair naturalistas, and I decided to, like, from different broad spectrums, different types of hair, because I did not know what kind of hair I was going to have, but I wanted to see what they do to their hair, what tips they had, know what kind of things you shouldn't do with your natural hair, and things that are going to optimize your healthy hair growth. So the next tip I want to bring to you guys is put a halt on the heat. You don't need to be flat ironing your hair. You don't need to be curling your hair. You don't need to be blowing it out. It's best to not put heat on your hair, because in this state right now in your transitioning process, your hair is very fragile. You have 2 different textures, and it's hard to blend them both sometimes as your hair gets longer. But the best thing to do is stay away from the heat, because that's only going to damage it more. And if you want healthy hair, heat does not always coincide with that. I know a lot of people also transition from heat damage. So of course, if you're transitioning from heat damage and not just a relaxer, then you know not to put any more heat on your hair. You want to grow your hair out healthy without putting too much strain on it. So yes, guys, put a halt on the heat. I would suggest that you find your go-to transition style. When I was transitioning, I would do flexi rods, sets. I would do a lot of buns. I would suggest just sticking with buns. Like after you let your hair air dry, guys, air dry your hair, you can do like maybe like some big twists, and then pull the hair after it's dried into a bun. I did that a lot. I would do these flat twists. Like I have this bun, it's flat twisted on this side. I would do flat twist outs. My ends were perm. They did not curl, so I would use these perm rods at the ends and curl my ends. I found my go-to hairstyles, and that's what really helped me get through the rough patch. You're gonna get tired of your hair, you're gonna get frustrated. Remember, while you're transitioning, it's always gonna keep you, you know, on the path that you're on. Keep calm and carry on, guys. Keep calm and carry on. Tip number 7. I want you to make sure that when you detangle gently. In the beginning of my transition, this was my best friend. I used my wide tooth comb and would detangle my hair with that. I would use a spray bottle to dampen my hair, and then go in with like a leave-in conditioner and detangle it that way. Tried my best not to detangle on dry hair. You can also finger detangle. What I would do later on in my transition, as my hair was getting thicker and thicker, it was getting more difficult to comb through my hair with the wide tooth comb, and I also was realizing that I might have been doing it too rough because I would have a lot of hair in my comb. You're supposed to lose about 50 to 100 strands of hair, but because I was really trying to retain my length and, you know, make sure I was not breaking off my hair, after a while I just would detangle with my fingers. You know, your fingers are your best tools, your best friends. They won't do as much harm as a tool will. And also, if you know that you have like had it in a bun for a week, then you're gonna have more strands coming out, because that's 5 to 7 no detangling, no combing. So your hair is, you know, that's about 500 to 700 strands. So, you know, just know that you have to be careful when you detangle, and detangle gently, because you don't want to break off your hair. Like I said before, your hair is very fragile at this point, so just be careful. My next tip number 6, is that deep conditioning is your best friend. I said your fingers are your best friend, but so is deep conditioning. At this point, your hair, like I said, is very fragile. It's very important for you to be moisturizing and nourishing your hair. So deep conditioning is really going to be helpful for you, and it's going to really promote growth. What I would do sometimes is I would sit under a hair dryer with like the shower cap and use some heat to help open my hair follicles, and that way the moisture and all the vitamins and oils from the deep conditioner are getting into your hair follicle. And then I would rinse out my hair with cool water to make sure that it locks in and closes the hair cuticle and the hair follicle. So that's a good idea for you to try as well. Next tip I have for you guys is to keep your scalp clean. I know that you might see different naturalists on YouTube using different methods of, you know, wash day routines. Some people wash their hair once a week. Some people wash their hair every 3 days. Some people wash their hair every 2 weeks. It really depends on them, and that's what they figured out for themselves. So what you need to do in this transition period is to figure out what's the best for your hair. Also, think about your activity level. If you're sweating a lot, your hair is going to be starting to get dirty. If you're using a lot of different products in your hair, you're going to start to have buildup. So the best way to have healthy hair is to have a healthy scalp as well. So your hair has to be clean, your scalp has to be clean. So, you know, and washing is great because it helps promote hair growth. When you're stimulating your scalp and you're massaging your scalp, it's helping promote hair growth. So make sure that you guys keep your scalp clean. Tip number 4 is protective hairstyling. Make sure that you utilize a good protective hairstyle. It'll give you a break from doing your hair. It'll really help your hair grow and maintain its current length and prevent damage if you protective style right. So make sure that you are moisturizing your scalp as you protective style. You can use wigs, you can use, you know, put your hair in braids, you can put your hair in twists, but make sure that you're maintaining the protection of your hair. You know, use scarves around your hair, bonnet. I have both. I use both to have buns, and I would use like Marley hair or Kanika lawn hair. This is reggae braid hair. So just use something like that, and I would wrap it around the back of my bun when my hair was still not as long as I wanted, giving you a break from doing all of that work. And once you take that, you'll be ready. After about 4 weeks or so, you'll probably be ready to get back to your hair, and you'll be tired of that protective style, and it really helps you appreciate your hair. Just make sure that you're being careful of not having things too tight on your edges, not anything pulling or snagging, and making sure that you moisturize and nourish your hair underneath the protective style as well. Tip number 3, I want you guys to make sure that you're getting gradual trims. You might be ready to cut off your hair after 5 months of transitioning. You never know. But gradual trims will help keep your hair free from split ends and help keep it healthy. So make sure that you're doing gradual trims on your hair. The split end can extend all the way up the hair shaft. So that's what the last thing you want is, because you have this healthy hair that's growing out of your scalp right now that is in a fragile state, like we've said before. and you want to make sure that you're protecting your ends. So sometimes tucking your ends is the best thing you can do. Putting it in a bun is the best thing you can do, as long as you're not pulling it too tight. Make sure that you guys are getting these hair ties that have no metal on the ends. So really protecting your ends, preventing split ends, and making sure that you get gradual trims as you go will help keep your hair as healthy as possible. Tip number 2 for you guys is to embrace and experiment during this journey. Just make sure you embrace it. Like, you're gonna have trial and error. Things aren't gonna go as you plan them to, like life in general. So just make sure that you try different things. Like I said, try twists, try a wig, try whatever you want to try. But as long as you're keeping your hair healthy, just embrace it. You know, so you're going to try twist outs that aren't going to be fails. They're not going to come out right. I've had so many twist out fails during my transition, and it's disappointing because you've had so much time spending putting your hair in these twists. But you know, you're transitioning, so you have a longer length of hair. You can tuck your hair in a bun. It's gonna be okay. You can throw a wig on your hair if it doesn't work out. So just remember to embrace the journey. Oh, and remember why you went natural. Always keep that in the back of your mind. It's gonna help you keep going and push through and persevere through this rough patch of transitioning. My last and final tip is be patient. Transitioning is going to take some time, especially for me. It took me 18 months to be comfortable and ready to cut my hair. So just, you know, like we said in tip number 2, embrace the journey. Be patient. Always keep in mind what you want your hair to look like. Always keep in mind that this is a healthy hair journey. Healthy hair journeys are not going to be overnight. It's going to take you time. You're going to figure out what works best for your hair, what oils work best for your hair, what products work best for your hair, and it might change after you trim your ends and are fully natural. So just be patient with the process. As you start to see the curls coming in, you're gonna start getting excited, and it's gonna make you just really motivated to keep on this journey. So those are my top 10 transitioners tips for healthy hair growth. So I hope that you guys enjoyed these tips. I hope they were helpful to you, that you give me a thumbs up if they were helpful to you. And also make sure you leave me a comment below. Are you transitioning? Do you know anyone that's transitioning? How did your transitioning process go? I'm gonna make sure that I'm making content that is interesting to you as well. So don't forget to press the subscribe button if you have not already. Make sure you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment below. And I hope these tips were helpful for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, love bugs.